All right. Welcome to another episode of the All Over Overland show here on Overland Radio. It's Tuesday night, and I don't know about you guys, but there is an event that's coming soon, and I am ready for it, the MOORE Expo. So if you haven't got your tickets, I think Michael's got a link, and I'll post that for everybody here in just a few minutes. But you need to go get those tickets and get to the MOORE Expo, and come hang out with us. Michael and I are going to have a booth there. So anyway, special thanks to all of our sponsors, the Overland Addict, the Overland Essentials, Midland Radios, Midland USA. We're extremely grateful to all of them, and one of our newer sponsors, Rugged Bound. And surprise, I'll drop the hint, but that sponsor and tonight's guest may be somewhat related. So anyway, all right, well, let's bring Michael in, and I won't bore you with any more of my crap. So hope everybody's having a good week. Here we go.
Hey everybody, welcome to the All Over Overland show. Lee, everybody loves the crap that you bring in the intro. Come on now.
Yeah. I'm a little distracted tonight, but
what are you distracted about?
Dinner didn't get ready in time, and so I'm hungry.
You know what happens when you eat before the show, though?
I know I have to go shit.
Yep.
No.
Bathroom breaks have to happen.
Listen, man. The 21st and 22nd of April, I'll post a link to Michael's. Michael's got a link for some tickets and all, but
yep,
you guys got to go get the tickets to the MOORE Expo, man. I mean, that's just. And
there's a discount on the link, and then it just shows that people that actually like pay attention to us and listen actually like participate in things.
Nobody cares about us.
Yeah, exactly. We're the stepchildren.
But I will tell you this: I've been spending some time on Chris's website, the MOORE Expo. It's mooreexpo.com.
Yeah, just looking it over.
Man, the number of people that he has coming, storytellers, and the S'more to More Overland Rally, and now the whole camping event that you camp right there on site. And he's got more exhibitors than ever, so I think it's going to be a great time. And fortunately for us, that our guest tonight, we'll get to see him there too.
Nope.
Oh no, he's not, is he?
Not going.
That's right. Yeah. So how in the hell am I supposed to get my biltong?
Oh, that's right.
Man.
Yep, you're not gonna be able to get that.
That's okay. I'll survive.
Let's see. So I'm gonna be camping up in the Storyteller Row. You are gonna be there. And there may be a little bit of a surprise.
I thought we weren't going to talk about that.
We're not talking about it.
Okay, good.
We're not saying what's going on because nothing's happened yet.
It's how do I want to say it? It's
when I say, okay, hold on. When I say a little bit of surprise, I was duped whenever you kind of started telling me, and I thought one thing and it was actually something else, and then I felt like an idiot. So
I didn't think it was that big of a.
No. It was shockingly surprising. The avenue that you may go down.
It was for me too, because I had no idea, but
how sweet these things are.
Well, no, I mean just the whole situation as a whole. I mean, I'm excited for you and some of the things that you're going to get to do while you're there, and some of the things that are happening for you. And but I'm kind of shocked at how this all turned, because it was not in my plan for it to go this direction
it's
at all.
it's going to be stupid. It's going to be stupid cool.
It will
Like
actually be the first one in the country.
yes. Yes.
That's the crazy part. It will
That's
be
what's
the
insane about it. That's why we can't
yeah.
really talk about it yet.
Yeah.
And I am going to have some prints of some of the paintings that I've done available for sale, and they'll probably be like stupid cheap.
Yeah. So Michael has a really neat talent for his watercolor paintings, and I'm a fan. So I'm probably gonna
They're outdoor overland related,
yeah.
most of them. So
I
yeah.
think what I'm gonna do is have to have him do one just for me though. I want to have. I mean, you know what they call that? Commissioning a piece of artwork.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You can
So
commission all day long.
yeah.
So yeah, that'll work.
So
Well, hey,
anyway,
let's not wait too much longer. We have a good friend of ours. He's been on the show before. We've stood on top of a roof rack at MOORE Expo, and I was nervous because all three of us were on top of this thing, and we were like, "Can it hold this much weight?" Because Lee and I are robust.
well, I mean, you know, you
We're
speak
not
for
little.
yourself. I
Well,
mean,
I'm
why you
very
got to drag
robust.
me down?
Well, you were up here
No,
with me.
no,
So
he's true.
let's bring on a good friend, Theo with Rugged Bound Supply Company. Hey,
How's it going, guys?
cheers. Let's start it right. We'll start it with a whiskey drink.
Thanks for having us.
We've got oil fire whiskey as usual. Theo, you were telling us what you were drinking earlier. Tell the viewing audience, the public, what tasty beverage you have.
So my wife knows I like some good whiskey. So this is a Balvenie 14 Caribbean cask, and she got this for my birthday, and she picks well.
Awesome. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, you broke Lee's heart because you won't be at the MOORE Expo because with the new the smart top that you have for the trucks now, they really kind of make a lot of sense in the biking world and a few other applications, but you're actually going to be at a big biking event if I remember correctly.
Well, actually,
did it change again?
Actually, I will be at MOORE specifically because I need to bring biltong to Lee. Apparently, that's what I heard through the grapevine.
Oh, so now you're gonna be at MOORE.
All right.
Oh,
we
awesome.
We have a booth at MOORE. I was just not sure if I would be at the MOORE Expo or if I would be at the cycling event in California.
Okay.
Because they're on the same weekend.
Yeah.
But at this point, I'm definitely going to be at MOORE. Unless there's some big changes, but yeah, I should be there, and I'll have my biltong there with Lee. And if we want to do a version, a second edition of our interview on top of standing on top of something,
I think we should.
Yes,
we can do it on the back of Chris's Tundra on the smart top.
We'll
just
good.
make it a
I'm
tradition.
Excited. I'm super. I didn't know you were going to come, obviously. So that just kind of made my day.
Week that I decided to change.
You better save some of that whiskey.
I'll bring that with me.
Okay, cool.
We'll have our share of oil fire too.
Definitely. Well, very cool. Well, tell us a little bit about we've got a lot to cover with you because I have one of the awnings, but I want to talk about the smart top for a little bit. So I know that it's on top of Chris's truck. We've seen pictures of it. It looks amazing. And tell us just a little bit about that. How long has it been on the market?
So thank you. Yeah, look, once you see it in person, you know, it takes you a minute to figure out what you're looking at because it's so different to any truck bed cover that's out there. But it's been about in the South African market now for about 2 years.
Okay.
And the manufacturer, a big country that manufacture all the things that we distribute in the US, they developed this about 2020 is when they started developing this. So it was a very top secret, product development cycle. We wanted to keep it obviously as a surprise for the greater market, and so we first started on the Hilux, and then the Ford Ranger, and then the Isuzus, different trucks in South Africa, and obviously taking it through its paces, understand what the challenges are with manufacturing, do a second and third design iteration improvement, and then obviously in parallel we started working on getting the American trucks kitted out with it as well. So we did a lot of work with figuring out how to best implement it on American trucks. Now, I will say this: it's different in all aspects to any cover on the market in that it actually bolts to the vehicle. So there are no C clamps or
Oh, really?
clamps on the
Okay.
side of the beds. This is all bolted into the vehicle, and so obviously every truck fitment would be different.
Uh-huh.
So for some trucks like the Toyotas, they have a lot of track systems. We use track to some extent. Some vehicles have a lot of bolt holes in the bed size, and so we use those. And some trucks don't have any of those things. And so instead of just going to a C clamp on the side, we would have to develop solutions to make it work in like the GM overlap holes, and the Ram has overlap holes as well. So we obviously had to develop solutions to use those fitment options as well. So this is a solid attachment to the vehicle.
Okay. Which means it'll hold a considerable amount of weight,
It
correct?
just yeah. The thing is that it handles dynamic load better because nothing can wiggle loose, right? It
Yeah.
doesn't have side friction clamps which are effectively holding a dynamic load. So
Mhm.
over time, it'll do better with dynamic loads. The bed itself is made completely of aluminum, so it's all custom aluminum extrusions, and all the bracketry is made from stainless steel. So it's a very nice piece of kit, and you're right in that it does really well with the cycling community because it's so versatile for putting on more bikes than you would be able to normally on a set of load bars.
Yeah.
But it's going to have a lot of implications for the overlanding community in that, especially for the guys who are towing a trailer.
Mhm.
If you have a truck, your bed becomes much more versatile, and you can configure your setup from trip to trip. You can have a clean truck from during the week from Monday to Friday, and you can build your adventure rig setup specific to your trip every single time without changing really anything because
Yeah.
everything bolts straight to the smart hub directly.
Well, and security is a big thing. I know that, like with me, I have the Lightner rack that has the rooftop tent on top of it, and then I've got the awning on it. But you can just reach inside and grab whatever you you want
Right.
out of the bed of the truck, and that's
Yeah.
always been a concern for me. And that's where something like this, if somebody doesn't have a rooftop tent, that
Mhm.
they're not worried about they're doing a ground tent or they're pulling a trailer, and they're still worried about security things. This is a great option. And with most of, even if some people want to go with a camper shell, sometimes you can't fit a bike in those, because the bike seat's too tall, or all the stuff. So
Mhm.
that's where I think this really comes into play. For me, I mean, I'm a biker, so that's where I was
Right.
like, oh, I can totally see that application.
Yeah, I mean, even on a mid-sized truck, so in South Africa on a Hilux or a Ranger, and so in the US on a Tacoma and a Ranger as well as a Jeep, you can fit a soft shell tent on the back of this thing, and you can scoot the tent over just enough to the side so you can also still fit a bike on top of the smart top as well. And then you can still
Oh,
open
okay,
and close,
yeah.
so you can
I guess,
still
yeah, yeah,
open it and get access to your bed. Um, so the gas struts are obviously interchangeable. You can go up and down in gas strut sizes depending on what is the typical load that you've got on there.
hmm
Um, for people who are listening to this, asking the basic question, what is a smart top? Um, I think I'm going to answer that first, right? And
yeah.
that is really, it's just on its most basic level, it is a fully welded, fully sealed, all aluminum roof rack that is also a truck bed cover, and that's hinged at the front, so you retain access to your truck while you have it loaded. And because it has M8 tracks every 4 inches, so on a mid-sized truck, on a 5 foot bed truck, you have about 17 T slots that run side to side and along the perimeter. So no matter what your accessory is, it doesn't matter which manufacturer made the accessory. Chances are you're going to be able to fit it on top of this thing just directly without making any modifications.
Gotcha. So, and this is obviously a newer product for the United States. I think you showed it off was it at SEMA this year? Was it this year
Yeah.
at SEMA?
So it was a 2022 SEMA. So that was 4 months ago now.
Yeah.
Um, and that was the official launch. So we kept it under wraps for the US market. We didn't put the Instagram or the Facebook or anything live for the Smart Top in the US, even though it's been for sale in South Africa for a year prior to this. But so the SEMA was really the cold open, as they say, for the industry buyers. So we wanted to get this in front of all the dealers around the country who were at SEMA to see the new products that they can put in their stores. So yeah, obviously the first main target would be all the truck accessory shops all around the country. We weren't, because this is the first time we went to SEMA, our seniority is 0. And so we were in the
It happens.
It's tough to get into that West Hall with all the cool overlanding guys,
Yeah.
So we were in the overflow sections in the Northern Hall. And so all the main action, for those of you who haven't been to SEMA or haven't seen what SEMA looks like, I mean, it's gigantic, right? It's, I don't know, it's like 1 million or 1.2 million square feet
It's crazy.
of floor space. That's just booths, miles and miles of walkways. So everyone goes to the West Hall to see all the Overland stuff, and then they would need to intentionally come to the North Hall to see the products. And so we had so many YouTubers and bloggers coming over to the booth, stumbling upon us, thinking, "Wow, this is really cool." Also, SEMA thought it was really cool too. So we actually won the runner-up award for the best new truck and van and SUV product for 2023.
Yeah,
But
and you
we
had
thought of
Chris's.
some hardware.
Did you have Chris's truck there? Was that right?
So Chris's truck was in the
Dude,
booth.
it looks so good on that truck.
Yeah, no, it does look very, very good. I actually had to build. Chris's truck is on 37s, and he's got a nice lift kit from Adventure Motors, who did a fantastic job building that truck. They got some really nice skid plates and some a really cool front bumper from CBI. We've got a lot of Diagonamics lights on there. And so it was just a very nice, clean truck with a nice, modest build on it. And so the stands and everything just looked great. But the thing was so big that we noticed after we built the whole thing, we realized that when you stand next to the truck, you can't see the Smart Top.
You can't see it
because the truck bed is. I'm not tall. I'm 5'10", but the truck bed ends up being eye height, so you can't see the product. So I had to build these 8-9 inch tall steps that are OSHA compatible or OSHA compliant.
Oh yeah, I got to follow all the rules.
Thousands of people can step onto the step to actually see the product from the top. But yeah, overall, SEMA was a fantastic show.
Yeah, very good. His truck's going to be there with that top on it. So very good.
So we have some more stuff now on his truck. It's actually flying over from South Africa right now. So we have a brand new product, 2 products actually that are going into this truck. One is going inside the bed, and one is going on top of the roof. I'll let you guess what those are. So we have some two cool new products to go with the Smart Top. So at the MOORE Expo, his truck will be kitted out with some more cool new toys.
Right on. Very cool. Well, I've got to tell you, I'm super excited because I've got the 270 ostrich wing freestanding awning, and I've got to say I was blown away when I got it, and how easy. I thought it was going to be complicated to put on because I had to, you have to cut the little holes on the fabric on the
back of the bag, because
on the back of the bag.
Right,
made me nervous.
Not gonna lie. For those who don't know, the ostrich wing awning bag actually sits around the
whole thing,
and around the entire thing. So it actually encloses the entire awning. So in the back of the bag, you don't actually see the beam. The beam is on the inside of the bag. So the rear mount is co-located with the hinge because it's a true freestanding awning, and the front mount, you can move it wherever you want to. So you do need to cut the holes in the bag when you get your front mount dialed in.
Made me nervous, but I mean, we had that thing on within probably 15 minutes. So it really wasn't that hard.
That bag is made out of rip block nylon, right? So even if you have trail rash and a stick poking a hole in the bag, the hole's not going to grow. It's not going to propagate. It's just going to be like a little hole. So it's a pretty heavy duty bag. So you don't have to worry about cutting extra holes in your bag. It's not a problem.
Like I said, it made me nervous. My dad came over and helped me, and of course he's known that I've been doing this Overland thing forever, but it's like, well, you got another, you you got another thing on your truck that you're super excited about. But whenever we put that on there and I opened it up, unzipped it, and then opened the awning up, he was like, okay, no, that's pretty cool.
So on screen right now, that's the Junior, right? So
Yeah.
the original 270R, the original Ostrich is actually massive. It's 120 square feet of shade, freestanding. It comes with one leg. But the one that you just had on the screen there, that's the Junior, as we call it. And so we actually made that for 5-foot bed trucks. So you don't. The Ostrich Wing is so big that the footprint that you have to have for support of the Ostrich Wing, it's longer than a 5-foot bed truck. So the Ostrich Wing itself is not ideal for 5-foot bed trucks, and so we came up with the Junior. So this is the big one. This is the original. That's on a Camp X, I think, Scout Camp X.
And mine's the big one.
Yeah, you've got the big one. Yeah,
but I've got the wedge style tent, it was really the perfect size.
Yeah, so we always preface, this with the original. I'm surprised that I didn't even put the original in the product title, but yeah, this is the original 270 awning. So when Big Country invented this back in 2008, it was the first freestanding awning on the market. So this is now year number 15. So the Ostrich Wing actually is older than my 14-year Balvenie. So probably somewhere in Scotland there was a guy with an Ostrich Wing awning, and he had it mounted on his Scottish SUV. I don't know what they were driving in Scotland, on his Defender.
Yeah.
And he had the awning open, and he thought this was like 2008 or 2009, and then he thought, let's make a bottle of whiskey. And so now I'm drinking this whiskey.
To pair with the awning.
Yeah, so this whiskey was made 1 year after that guy sat underneath the Ostrich Wing like that. So it's been around for 15 years. And the irony is that Big Country, they just never brought their product to the US. So a few people actually started buying the Ostrich Wing on some forums, like I Hate Mud for the Toyota guys, and there's some other forums as well. And this is really in the early days of Overland Journal and the Expedition Portal. Which, I mean, I was one of the first guys on Expedition Portal back when it first started. Back when it was like 17 of us on the Expedition Portal.
Back in the good old days, right?
Yeah, in the good old days. So people back then, they were talking about the Ostrich Wing awning, and everyone thought it was an Australian product because that's where they were prominently sold. And so they were actually American customers importing their own Ostrich Wing awnings from Australia, from Perth, which is actually the Australian distributor for the Ostrich Wing. And so in 2018 is when I decided that I'm going to bring the Big Country brand to the US. And so very, very slowly we started introducing the Ostrich Wing awning into the market. But as you know, by then, it's been 10 years. Now the US, has a lot of options on awnings. Yeah. And so without going into the detail, the introduction, has been a challenge because it's a very crowded market. It's a very crowded space for awnings. And obviously this is one of the more expensive ones. But with the Ostrich Wing, it's really an asset that you buy to keep for a long, long time. It's a true freestanding awning in that you can really use it without legs. It only comes with one leg. The only reason why you would have to get the second and the third leg is if you add the wall kit so it can support the weight. And as I always tell my customers, for as long as the weather is good enough for you to be camping underneath the awning and enjoying yourself, you're not going to need to put the legs out. So as soon as the wind comes up beyond the point where it's pleasurable, that's probably the time that you got to put the one leg out and stake the one leg down with the guide line. Yeah. And at that point, you're fine up until the point where you have to put it away because the wind might be too strong after that point. But the awning is so strong that we actually have problems with some roof racks that can't handle the awning. So we have broken a few roof racks. This is true. Some roof racks just aren't meant to take the torsion at the back corner, right? And it's just the way they're made. And so there's a lot of problems with some roof racks when you use an L bracket and the load bar is supported with 2 1/4-inch screws on the side. That design was never intended to support a freestanding 270 awning of the size of the Ostrich Wing. So you have to do a lot of extra work, add some extra load bars, and obviously keep an eye on your roof rack, because those quarter-inch bolts, the screws that hold the load bars together, those will be the bottleneck, right? All the hardware on the archer string is M8 hardware. It's really thick material,
Yeah.
and it's 120 square feet. It's a big sail.
Yeah. Yeah. We had Will with Venture to Roam on. He had to make some brackets for his rack because it just wouldn't fit right. And so he made some pretty heavy duty looking stuff he was showing us. But
Yeah.
but he said that you got onto him because he had the leg down and you were like, "What are you doing? Like, put the leg up." And he's like, "I was worried. Don't be worried. Just let it do
Yeah.
its thing."
Yeah, every photo he sent me had the leg down. I was asking, why do you have? I see this one leg in the. Why is the leg down? But no, so Will has a unique problem where he has a big tent that also folds over to the side, similar to an iCamper, right? So desert armor tent. And so the iCamper style tents, as I call it, or in this case, a desert armor tent, they don't play well with freestanding awnings because the roof or the lid of the tent, when it
Kind
falls
of come
open,
out. Yeah.
yeah, it takes up a lot of extra space on the side of the tent. So everyone who's got
Mhm.
an iCamper or a iCamper style tent, there's many of them on the market. They tend to have to push their roof rack, their tent over a little bit to the side,
Yeah.
just to create enough space when the roof goes up that it doesn't interfere with where the awning sits. So Will didn't want to change that symmetry. He wanted the tent in the middle of his roof rack, and so he wasn't willing to compromise and move his tent over. And what that caused was now he had to get creative with how he mounts the awning. So
Mm.
we do have
Yeah.
mounting brackets and kits for the Rhino Rack platform, both the old one and the new style Rhino Rack. We've got brackets for those. Front runner, we've got heavy duty L brackets for the guys with the 80/20 racks. There's many of those. But for the 80/20 racks, we typically suggest using at least 3 mounting points, so that you can take the rear corner and spread that torque over the last 2 load bars. That'll do your rack a good service in terms of helping the rack stay in one piece.
Gotcha. Well, I also have the walls for mine,
Mm,
and the last time that my daughter and I went camping, we put the walls down, and she was even like, "Dad, it's like a whole house beside our truck." And I was like, "I know, this is crazy." There was so much
yeah.
space, and for me, a lot of the issues that I have whenever I go camping sometimes, because I live in Oklahoma, you just never know what the weather's going to be like, and so
Mhm.
we've canceled plans because the weather was kind of a little rainy or just a little sketchy. And I was telling her, I was like, "What do you think?" She goes, "Dad, we can go camp no matter what the weather is now. And we have a
Yeah,
place to go."
absolutely. So our wall kit is so thick. I think it's 280 GSM. So it's roughly about, I think it's about 9.5 or 10 ounce cotton, or sorry, canvas.
Yeah.
So it's really heavy duty stuff. Now you still have the open area underneath underneath the vehicle between the
Hmm.
wheels, and you still have a bit of a kind of like an open curtain section right behind the tailgate. So you do have some air flowing in, but we have camped in the Upper Peninsula in October, where it wasn't quite snowing, but it was down there. It was like in the 20s, and we had a little 8 or 9 inch propane fire pit inside the awning with the walls up,
Yeah.
and it got pretty toasty in there.
I could see
So
that. Yeah.
so it really enables you to extend your camping into the fourth season,
Hmm.
where you would still have a dry and warm place to do your cooking. You don't need an annex beyond that, right? You can just have the awning out, zip the walls on, takes you 5 minutes. You've done it,
I
and you
was
have a big
shocked
space.
how easy it was to put the walls up because I was a little concerned. I was like, "That's a lot of wall." Like, it's
Right.
the awning so big, it was like, "That's a lot of wall." And so even whenever I laid the wall out just on the ground, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is going to take forever." But you've got the big zippers, which made it
Yes.
so much easier,
Yeah.
just to zip that on. And then a guy next to me was blown away because he has a different brand and his are with Velcro. Like the walls are
Mm.
with Velcro. And he was like, "Oh, that's so much better than Velcro."
Yeah, so the YKK, so we use only YKK the zippers on the awning and on the wall kit and on the bag as well. So it's all number 20 or up. The YKK Vislon zips, really heavy duty stuff. And actually, the Vislon is the one in the bag and on the hi Jeremiah, thank you. My daughters would agree with you. But the other cool thing about the wall kit is that the ostrich awning since day one, right, has been a symmetric awning. And so what people don't realize is when you have a wall kit, you need to figure out what wall goes where. And it goes on a certain way for some awnings. With the ostrich ring, you can take the wall panel and you can just zip it on anywhere on the
Yeah.
awning. You can put the door here and the window here, or you can like swap them around because everything fits any way you want, right? And so that's very convenient. If you're pulling up to campsite at 9 o'clock at night, it's snowing or it's raining, and you just need to get those walls up, you just start zipping up. You don't care about which panel goes where, everything will fit. So that's a very cool feature about it that, it doesn't really pop off the screen when you're looking at the detail and the description of the product. But when you're camping and it's 9 o'clock at night and it's raining and you got to get the walls up, you really, really enjoy the fact that you can start zipping up. The thing with Velcro, you mentioned Velcro, right? So the reason why we use zips and not Velcro is because over time, inevitably, the Velcro is going to land on the ground.
Yeah.
Whether it's
Get dirt in it.
Exactly. So it's going to get some grass or some bits and pieces in there. And Velcro, even if you have really, really good quality Velcro, over time is going to lose its stickiness. Especially if you use your awning all the time. So if you're camping once a year, obviously that's not going to be an issue for you. But the ostrich ring was designed to go up and down Africa on rental fleets, guys who are doing full-time camping. So the ostrich ring was made to be something that's going to last. And so all these things went into the design, considerations of of the guys who designed it.
Yeah, and one of the things you were talking about, like each panel, like each panel is different. And once you get that layout of what you like, it's great because they just zip together. So whenever you're taking, like, you don't have to like this one. Remember, this is where I want this one. It's already when you decide if you want the wall on the first panel and then the door and then the window and then the wall, like mine is, it's just easy because it's always that way. So once
You're
you
right.
find
You're
your
right.
sweet spot,
Yeah, I've never even thought about that, but now that you mention it, you're right. You can just zip the top off,
yeah,
all the tops. You can just zip them all off, and you don't need to zip the panels off of each
no, you
other.
just keep the panels all zipped together.
Yeah,
And so all you do is just unzip the top or zip, whenever you take it off. And when you put it on, you just zip the top, and just I start from the door side and work my way around to the tailgate. And yeah, I was blown away. I mean, I was laughing. I was a giddy schoolgirl. Everybody I was camping with was like, dude, that was really fast. I was like, I know, I'm a little surprised.
yeah, and it's really heavy duty stuff. We've got the 11-inch PVC flap at the bottom, so very
Yeah.
much like an army tent, right? For anyone who served in the army, having to put these army tents up in the field. It's a very similar design. You've got the really heavy duty wet slings at the bottom, and it comes with some really heavy duty stakes. And then it comes with a storm kit as well. So in the US, we sell the wall kit with the storm kit. So we've got the reverse, caliper cam clamps that would go in between the points of the awning to pull the sides tight so that you don't have any water pooling. That's all included with the wall kit.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty cool. I'm pretty excited. And Lee and I are both gonna take that week before the MOORE Expo off. And we're gonna meet up Saturday morning. We're gonna camp, Saturday night at the Overland radio that we love. And then we're gonna, camp the rest of the way to the MOORE Expo. And so I'm looking forward to using the awning quite a bit and getting some more coverage for you. And tell us about some of the other things that you have, because you're not just a smart top and the original freestanding awning. You've got several other items that come from Big Country 4x4.
Yeah, so Big Country, they've been making welded air conditioned roof racks for almost 30 years now, since the early 1990s. So they predate a lot of the other brands that, you may be more familiar with in the US. And their lattice design has been the same since day one. The only thing they've changed over the last 30 years has been a few small changes to the extrusions that they use and the size of the extrusions. But ultimately, their welded roof racks are bomb-proof, right? It's all aluminum and it's all purpose-made, custom extrusions that they design the extrusion mold or the tooling. They have the extrusions made for them, and then they weld everything together in South Africa. We ship them over, by sea, obviously, and we ship them from Houston direct to customer and through our dealership network across the country. And honestly, these things are when I say they're overbuilt, it's no exaggeration. You've stood, on one with me doing an interview at MOORE Expo. These things are made to be taken on expeditions, overused, overloaded, and they're not going to fail on you. The fact that they are designed in a traditional front to back floor plank arrangement as opposed to side, means that they've got inherently no wind noise. They've got a negligible wind noise. So our racks don't even have wind deflectors because of this. Some customers with leveling kits, I know leveling kits are getting more and more common these days. Some customers with a leveling kit might pick up a little bit of a weird hum. And then for those customers, we have a small brim that you can bolt onto the front, but it's like a half an inch brim. So when I was at Overland Expo West in 2021, I had Scott Brady over to interview us in our booth. And Scott came over and he looked at the roof rack that we had there. We had a rotisserie so you can turn the roof rack around. And Scott walked over and he said, the first thing he said was, "Oh, these are great racks. I used them on my, North Pole expedition." And I said, "Thank you, Scott. How about you tell the folks about that?"
Yeah.
So they've been around for a long, long time, 30 years. And again, they never came to the US. So we spent the last 4 years slowly trying to introduce them, focus on the more heavy duty rigs. So the heavy duty Land Cruisers, the Defenders, the G Wagons, we have them on their, on their vehicles. But we've also created one for the 5th Gen 4Runner now as well. The FJ Cruiser guys love them too. But if you're going to be putting on a rooftop tent onto your roof rack, these racks are made to carry those. They've got no lip at the top, so the floor planks end flush with the side extrusions. So there's no lip on the edge, and that actually becomes very, very useful when you start putting on a tent or anything that's bigger than the footprint of the roof rack. And again, they've got M8 tracks everywhere, and it's all welded. Even the corners are. Big Country cast their own aluminum corners. So the corner is made. If you scroll down on this page, I think there's about 5 down. There's a photo of the corner of the roof rack. The corner is made from a 1/4 inch thick. At its thinnest point, is a 1/4 inch thick cast aluminum, solid aluminum corner section. And as you can see, those are then welded into the corner. So this is the only all aluminum, fully welded roof rack that really is available on the commercial level in the US. It's much more rack that most people would need, but if you're going to be looking for a rack that is going to last longer than your rig, this is the one to get.
Yeah, and that's one of the things like even Will talked about. He was like, this is expedition quality, meaning that it's gonna take the abuse, it's gonna last a long time. It's the last purchase probably that you need to make, because it's gonna last so long. So I thought it was interesting that he had that expedition quality comment to it, because that's right. And you've told me about a vehicle that rolled that had the awning on it, and you were talking to him. He was like, "Hey, how'd it turn out?" And he was like, "Dude, it's fine."
I wish we had discussed this beforehand, because I could have sent you the video. I actually got the video.
Yeah.
I saw the video on a Facebook group. I just happened to see the video on a Facebook group, and I noticed that our awning was on the vehicle when it was an 80 series Land Cruiser here in Texas, and it rolled over. And I reached out to the owner and I said to him, "Look, if there's anything wrong with your awning, let me know if there's any parts that you need that we can help you get it back to operation."
Yeah.
And he replied and he said, "It's actually they got the vehicle back on its feet, back on its wheels and they open up the awning, and they're sat in the shade waiting for help to arrive.
That's too
So
awesome.
yeah, so that's a nice anecdote. But yeah, so I mean that's I'm not saying all our awnings are rollover proof, but honestly, these things are really built, overbuilt with a lot of engineering and
Yeah.
thought and intentionality going
Yeah.
behind
In
them.
this situation, it survived. So
Yeah. So
yeah.
the other products we have is the Savuti drawer systems.
Mhm.
Big Country makes fantastic drawer systems. They've been making this again for almost 20 years at this point. Their previous generation drawer systems that they made, you will now see them as other brands coming from China, but that style drawer, they stopped making that style drawer about 2007. But I actually see their drawer, from other brands now. So in 2008, they rolled out a new style for the SUVs called the Savuti. And what they wanted was a drawer that looks more refined, that's more like the interior of an SUV, that looks cleaner, and it's more complementary to the styling of SUV, which is, not a 79 series Land Cruiser
Yeah.
pickup truck, which is really what their initial drawers were meant for, the Zambezi. So the cool thing about the Savuti drawer systems is that every model vehicle has its own drawer system. And what I mean by
Okay.
this is the entire thing is only built for that vehicle.
Gotcha.
And so what you'll find is that the drawer systems are very, very efficient with space. There's almost no wasted space between the wheel wells and between the seats and the drawer system. So for instance, the JKU drawer from Big Country, it's like 36 or 37 gallons of space inside the drawer. That's more than double what you're going to get from the main competitors on the market,
Mhm.
with giving up even less footprint because the drawer actually sits a little bit lower. You still retain your access to the recessed cover, storage area, and the Big Country drawer includes an auxiliary battery box that's included in the drawer. So all you
Oh,
have to do is
wow.
just drop a battery in there, and you're good to go. So you can see from that photo, how close the drawer comes to the side.
Yeah.
Um, Big Country believes in building something that's fit for purpose for a specific rig. They don't believe in compromising the customer and the rig's setup just to make it easier to mass produce a
Yeah.
product.
Yep.
And that says a lot about the principle, mindset and design principles at Big Country. They want to build something that's going to last a long time. They want to build something that's fit for purpose, extremely rugged, heavy duty, and it's going to do the perfect job for what you need it to do. So with that being said, the biggest problem for us has been developing the US brand, developing the US product offering because they don't have access to the US vehicles.
Oh, yeah.
So the cool news is that last year, Big Country actually signed up to become members of SEMA. So now that the Big Country are SEMA members, they have access to the SEMA garage, and so they can access vehicle scans for the US
Oh,
market. And
okay.
so
Good.
our model updates and our design process, the turnaround time is now much faster. So they're doing a phenomenal job. There's so many things I want them to do.
Mhm.
And Big Country always is saying, Theo, please just slow down. What's your priority? I mean, we've got a JLU drawer coming out soon. They've just rolled it out in South Africa. We've got a new drawer, roof rack system for the Jeep Gladiator that just came out. We've got the 5th Gen 400 roof rack, and now we're starting with roof racks for the trucks. So Tundra, Tacoma, Ranger, all of and the F-250s and the half-ton trucks. Eventually, they'll all get fully welded roof racks, which I don't think there's many offerings with fully welded roof racks for the truck market.
Gotcha.
For the
Gotcha.
mid-size and half-ton trucks.
Yeah.
So lots of exciting things coming, but we have to focus on making sure that as we roll things out, we can sustain, we can provide the product, and we don't upset customers and upset dealers when we can't keep stock.
Mhm.
And so it's a balanced process, but it's very, very exciting. And everyone who experiences the product for the first time, be it a roof rack or a drawer system or the awning, the takeaway is always, wow, this is like the real deal. This is the real thing, the real McCoy. So people are always impressed with the build quality and the ruggedness and the thoughtful design behind the products.
Gotcha. And speaking of which, rooftop tents
hmm
and
So the Penthouse XL,
yeah.
as the tank, as I like to call it, um, it's made from 2 millimeter aluminum. Um, so anyone who knows what 2 millimeter thickness is, that's about 10 times thicker than the body panels in your car.
Okay.
So it's very, very robust. It's very, very strong. It's got a fantastic 3-inch mattress that's extremely comfortable to sleep on because it's got 2 layers of different foam. Um, and it's a very rugged tent. Um, again, the tent market there's a lot of options for customers in the US right now.
hmm
And we've updated the Penthouse tent to be more aligned with the US market. We've added, power. We've got a Anderson plug system, so you can simply plug in an Anderson cord at the back of the tent, and that'll give you power inside the tent. You've got an Anderson takeoff point inside, as well as a dual USB and a light. And we've made the tent wider and longer for the US market. So it's a 90.5-inch long tent, which is a beast. Um, and so you have pretty much a double-sized mattress in there. And so for people who are taller, this is a very, very comfortable tent to sleep in.
Speaking of taller, I've got a friend that's taller that I think may have your tent, and his name is Enoch
Mm,
Leisure. I think
yeah,
they've got.
Enoch cut the bottom out of his
I
tent.
was about to say.
So that
Voided
was
any warranty probably right then. I was like, dude, I can't believe you just did that.
so
Um,
actually so actually that was we were making lemonade from lemons in that
did he
situation.
talk to you and
So
tell you
so
this is what I think I'm going to do?
no. He came with me to me with the plan, right? This is the intention.
Okay.
We wanna see if we can find a tent that we can put on an Xterra. And I said, sure. What roof rack do you want to use? I said, no, no roof rack. I said, oh, really? Are you just gonna put some low bars? Okay, that's cool. I said, no
No,
low bars. I said, what you gonna do? I
I'm going to
said,
put it
well,
on the truck.
I'm gonna cut a hole in my roof of your Xterra. Yeah, I'm gonna cut a hole in my roof. I'm gonna cut a hole in the tent. I'm gonna put them together. So I said, you know
Yeah.
what, I got something for you. And so yeah, we were able to set him up with a tent that was fit for what he needed. So he didn't feel too bad about cutting the hole out of the tent.
Uh-huh.
And made it. He's done a fantastic job. I'm very, very impressed with what he did.
Dude, the
And so
final
they're going
product.
out to Patagonia down. I think it was next year or later this year. They're going down to Patagonia.
Okay. I know. I
So
think they're
that's
planning on being at the MOORE Expo with us, so
mm,
we'll see him there. But I haven't seen it in person yet. I talked to him quite a bit, and the last image that I saw of it when he's got the cabinets built and everything, I was like, oh, okay,
yeah.
that looks
Enoch's a
really
very,
nice.
very handy guy. Yeah.
Yeah, looks really nice. So hopefully they'll be at the MOORE Expo and we'll be able to see it firsthand.
I've been in it. It is very well thought out.
Yeah.
When you look at it from the outside, though, Michael, you don't think that there's a hole in the roof, but as
Yeah.
soon as you go right up to the back, boom, it's amazing. So yeah,
Yeah.
he did a fantastic job.
Yeah, he did a good job. And
Yeah.
it's a
And they
Nissan.
they went from a trailer to, they were like, we were just tired of pulling the trailer, and we want to be able to, be in the vehicle and get up in the tent and all the different things.
Mhm,
And so when he was telling me about the plan, I was like, dude, you're insane. But that's what I always wanted to do whenever I had my Liberty. I thought the
mhm,
Liberty would be just like the Xterra because they're
yeah,
roughly the same size in the back would be a perfect thing for that. And it was, no one was doing it except for the Defender guys, and the Troopy guys and stuff like
mhm.
that. So yeah, hats off to him. Boys got a pair on him because he cut a hole, he cut a hole in his roof and
Look,
and and made
I
it
told
work.
him to cut once, measure to 15 times and cut once, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And it's like, nah,
right.
I'm just gonna
Exactly,
cut a hole, man. I'm just gonna
exactly.
do the live stream. I remember when it went on live stream on Instagram. I was just waiting for some disaster to happen, but yeah, man, he knocked it out first time. I was very, very impressed.
Yeah, 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 super cool. Just an amazing couple, so it's fun to see them be able to do that kind of stuff and continue to to do the adventures that they're setting their life goals to do. So pretty cool with that. Let's see, what's he got?
The
Man,
MOORE
oh,
Expo says mandatory rock shandy.
well,
I
it
think the
just
MOORE
means we
Expo is
gotta take a drink.
drinking.
Yep.
I think right now Chris is drinking a Boulevardier.
Oh, is that what he's doing? Okay. I think we're gonna have him on. Lee, are we gonna have him on next week? Is that right?
Yeah, it'll be next week. He's
Yeah,
he's
we'll have
on the
Chris with
he's
MOORE
on the
Expo.
hook next week, so we'll get him drunk while he's on the show, and
Of course.
we'll get some kind of
Yeah, it'll
crazy.
take a lot of twisting his arm, to get him
Yeah,
to
yeah,
drink with us on the show, but I think he might be up for it. So I think
yep.
we'll make that happen. Well, very cool, man. We are excited. We've been excited about the MOORE Expo, but now I'm more excited that you're going to be there because I didn't know that you personally were going to be there. So, what else do you guys have coming up? I know that you got the MOORE Expo coming up. Do you have any other events that you're going to?
So
Or
actually, yeah, I mean, I'll plug something for anyone from Houston who's listening today or from Houston. Actually, this weekend in Houston, there's a very I wouldn't say impromptu, but a very recent, I would say, the inaugural Houston Overland Expo get together at Fortress Beer Works up in
okay,
Spring,
cool.
which is on the north side of Houston. So there's going to be about 20, I would say 20 vendors there. A couple of brands are going to be there. I'll be there. Two of my dealers are going to be there from Dallas and San Antonio. So people are coming from, from a lot of places just to come just for the day. So it's going to be from noon until late. I think it's 8 or 9 p.m. at Fortress Beer Works in Spring. So that's this Saturday, and it's obviously it's
Okay.
free. Bring the kids. It's going to be a nice afternoon. And we will be there with a smart top. So we will show off a Ford Ranger with a smart top and a lot of different accessories, and let people play around and try the different configurations with jerry cans and max straps and bicycles and stuff. But the guys from Overland Expedition Outfitters in Dallas, as well as Base Camp Provisions in San Antonio, both two of my dealers are going to be there. TGM Outfitters, Ross from Houston is going to be there. I think the guys from Overland, from Off-Road Alliance will be there. Redux Off-Road will be there. So it's going to be a very, very cool little expo, just, very casual at Fortress Beer Works. And then the first big event we're going to will be MOORE Expo.
Okay.
And then I do have plans for being at Expo West in May, and also to Pacific Northwest in June.
Very cool.
We have, you had Jason from Waypoint
Mm-hmm.
from Waypoint on your show a couple of weeks ago, I think it was.
Yeah.
So they got a really cool event that they're doing, which is the For This Land campaign. I think you guys discussed that.
Today's the last day to sign up.
Yeah. So sign up
to
for all the guys out there that
Yeah.
that been working on it. Get those assignments in, or applications rather. We're very excited because we're actually part of that, but we've been holding off on the full announcement. But so we will be involved with that. So I'll be at that Tacoma and Turtleback trailer vehicle at the different expos as well. So
Very
that's good.
good.
I think that's a very, very smart campaign,
It
and
is.
it's going to, I think,
really
bring
is.
fantastic footage to social media for the perspective of someone doing this 8,000-mile trek all the way from MOORE to the Pacific Northwest, and visiting a lot of fantastic places along the way. I think it's a fantastic opportunity for whoever wins it.
We are actually going to be the show that announces to the public the winner at the MOORE Expo at 10 o'clock in the morning on Friday. We're going to go live, and we're going to announce who the winner of that prize is that gets to drive this Tacoma and pull the trailer and go to all the different events. We're going to announce it live. Now they're going to know a couple of weeks, or at least a couple of weeks before the MOORE Expo, so they can get all their kind of stuff.
They can pack some bags.
Yeah, they can tell everybody, kiss their dog, do all that kind of stuff, and be ready for it. But we're going to make the public announcement Friday morning, the first opening of MOORE at 10 a.m. We're going to announce who the winner is, and then that way the winner can walk around and kind of be on a cloud the whole weekend there at the MOORE Expo and get all the congratulations and all that kind of stuff.
Will the winner already be handing out swag? Because I think it's gonna be some really limited edition swag.
Oh, well, they better be handing out some swag because the first two people that are going to announce it are going to be him and I. Yeah, we better be on that. I actually did put my application in, so we'll see.
I'll be, if you're looking for me at MOORE, I'll be on the back of the smart top and I'll be like throwing biltong out like it's
very cool.
like a biltong cannon.
Hey, my shirt that I got from you when we did the last one, we were on the roof of that. I think it was a Lexus or something. I about wore it out, so I'm ready for another shirt.
I tell you what, it was my favorite shirt from the MOORE event last year.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah, so it was nice. It was like that was our Art Deco style 80s hot 80s.
The back of it felt like a Miami Vice.
Yeah, so we were going for like a Miami Vice feel. Yeah.
For those of us our age, we know what Miami Vice is, and it was a great TV show.
It was a Don Johnson t-shirt.
Yeah. So yeah, we're excited. We're going to be announcing that, and then we're going to keep up with that person. The second week, we're going to have a short call with them and kind of say, hey, look, how's the trip going? And then on the fourth week, we're going to have them on for the full hour and do a video call with them, like we do here, and talk about it. And then the 6th week, we'll have a little short call, and then the 8th week, we'll have them on again to tell us how everything's going. So it's a great opportunity opportunity. Today is the last day that you can register to win that pretty cool trip. So if you haven't, make sure you check that out and go register and submit your video. Because that's what it takes. You got to put a video in. So anyway, yeah, I told Jason, I was like, so if we need to announce me as the winner, that's totally fine. He started laughing. He was like, yeah, okay, sure.
Lee, do you subscribe to Recoil magazine?
I do. Yes.
Yeah. Have you seen their new? I'm not sure. It's not new. It's new to me. Recoil Off Grid.
The Off Grid magazine, the one that has all the lots of that stuff.
Pew pew.
Well, yeah. So the Recoil Off Grid magazine has got more overlanding / survival stuff, right? So bug out bags, bow hunting, survivalist stuff, and overlanding stuff.
Yeah.
The reason I'm asking, so we actually sent an awning, an ostrich ring to the guys at Off Grid Recoil Off Grid magazine. So down the line, you'll see that featured in there as well. They're building a Forerunner, and so I think they're doing a great job of bringing overlanding to the recoil demographic.
I like like when if you haven't seen it, Michael, they have tons of gear reviews. Like I think they review every kind of knife and survival tool you could ever imagine. Axes, hatchets, different holsters. I mean, not just that, but I mean, they do vehicles. They do just whatever. So it's a great magazine.
The concept is fantastic. With the Recoil magazine, obviously, is much more focused on arms. The Recoil Off Grid is kind of like a men's health gear junkie style.
Now that sounds
thing awesome. For guys who like recoil.
Yeah.
So,
you
really cool magazine.
You could go broke on there in a hurry buying some of that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a great magazine, but the reason I see the stuff behind you is why I asked. So make sure you pick up the one, the next few editions, and maybe we'll see us.
Very
All right,
cool.
We'll be looking for it. For sure.
Very cool. Well, Theo, thanks so much for coming on. We can't wait to see you at the MOORE Expo. And what is it that we're going to be eating, Lee? What is it called?
Biltong.
Biltong. Okay.
Am I saying it right, Theo?
Yeah. So I will have uncut biltong, right? So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it'll be
Michael length.
Yeah, it'll be like probably like this.
Seriously,
long. It'll be like 3 inches wide, and an inch thick, and you just have to make sure you bring your knife because you're gonna have to cut it, right?
Yeah, there we go.
I'll have some pre-cut biltong, but pre-cut biltong, it only lasts so long. If you have the full thing, it'll last a long time. You can just cut it as you eat it.
Yeah.
Because when you cut it, you expose that part of the meat that hasn't been cured
Yeah,
and
so
dried as
it'll
much.
dry.
Yeah.
Fun fact, right? The base biltong is grade
Mhm.
C meat.
Mhm.
So you don't want grade A, you want the grade C meat because then the fat rind on the side goes nice and yellow,
Yep.
and that fat it melts in your mouth. It
It's
melts in
like
your mouth.
butter.
So,
Okay.
yeah,
It
so
like
A
you
grade
can actually
doesn't
hold it
do
in your hand and it'll start to melt in your hand, almost like I mean,
yeah.
not melt, but I mean it. Yeah.
It kind of just melts in your mouth. It's fantastic stuff. So for anyone out there who's trying to make their own biltong and they find recipes online, don't buy the A grade stuff. At the butcher, make sure you ask the butcher for grade C stuff, or even if you can even get that, that's going to be the best biltong you're going to make.
I
Okay.
still need you to get me one of those dryers from over there and have them throw it in the container on the trip over with some awnings and stuff.
A dryer for the biltong?
Yeah, I know you could build them. I got the
Yeah.
whole all the stuff, the fans and all. But man, there's a couple of those that are just nice little cabinets. You can set them right up on the shelf, and yeah,
For
It
the
makes
right
a
price, I'm sure
it
Theo
makes a whole.
will hook you up.
I mean, you can go to Target, buy yourself a little basic little cabinet thing, take the shelf out, take a PC fan on the top, and
yep,
one 60-watt light at the bottom. That's
yep,
all you need.
See, here's
yeah.
the deal. Here's what you haven't realized with Lee. Lee's one of those that he wants to be able to say this is actual biltong built from a South African dry whatever machine. That's what he wants.
No, I have the
So
plastic. I have the plastic container right now with the computer fan and the light bulb and the wooden dowels that you just drape it over.
that's all you need. Yeah, that's all you need. There's no machine. There's no dehydration going on. It's just you just hang it up. So
You
it's
just literally
yeah,
circulating air
it's
over
just
it.
cured.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
All right.
really good
Very
stuff.
good. Very good.
I can't wait for
Well,
Michael to try it.
yeah, I can't wait. I'm all about.
Theo, he likes hot and spicy. Just so you know.
No,
So we
I
have
don't.
chili bites in South Africa. Chili
I
bites
don't
is
like.
like the thinner pieces of
Oh yeah,
of streaks of meat,
yep.
and so we use red pepper and peri peri spices. Lots of pepper, and so those little bites, it's kind of like it's about the size of a pencil. But so then you would just chew it off, right? So you consume it like one pencil at a time. So if you go to a sports game in football, for us rugby, you take like a bag of these chili bites, and that's pretty much your entire meal right there. Can't spoil. So it's just beer and chili bites. It's fantastic.
I'm telling you, Michael, if you don't like it, I may have to disown you.
Well, we may have a surprise for you, Theo. We got in trouble for letting people drink some oil fire whiskey with us
Mm.
last year, so we're gonna have something even more
Different.
potent, different.
Riplets.
No, you could guess all day. You'll never guess what we're gonna bring, but it is gonna. I'm just gonna say it's gonna knock your damn socks off.
Bring
Hmm.
it. Looking forward to it.
Okay, very good. Well,
Thank you so
again,
much, guys, for having us on. Look forward to seeing you guys at MOORE Expo. And thank you for everyone who stayed on for an hour and listened to us talk,
oh yeah,
what
we
we
had
did.
blast. Yeah.
Um,
Now
and
tell
yeah,
everybody
always
where
nice to
they
be here.
can find you, the website, all the stuff.
Yeah. So ruggedbound.com is our website. We're on Instagram and Facebook as ruggedbound. And our phone number is even 18338 ruggedbound. So it's ruggedbound. It's just Google ruggedbound and you're going to be able to
Yeah,
find us.
you'll be able to get it.
We're in Fulshire, Texas, so just on the west side of Houston. And then we have a few dealers around the country. So we got some in Springfield, sorry, in Nixa, Missouri.
Yeah.
We're killer shots. So we got a few dealers around the country. Obviously, we're trying to grow the dealership network. So if you're a dealer, if you're selling products, if you have a shop, if you're an installer, and you're looking for a cool new product that's really going to push your boundaries for your customers and what they can do with their rig, give us a call.
Very
Is
good.
is Ryan a dealer?
Not currently.
Ryan.
What the hell, Ryan?
Ryan with CB Adventure Supply.
What a loser!
No, Ryan is not. I meant to give him a call last week. I know he was on with you guys last week, and I was supposed to be on with you guys and follow and phone him. Ryan and I have been trying to phone each other for 2 years now, pretty much, right? So every time I phone Ryan, he's busy. Every time,
That's
yeah.
Ryan's way of avoiding you. He's just avoiding you. Don't worry about it. No.
Oh,
Don't worry about it. He's just looking away.
So look, if you want a drawer system that's not made from birch, give me a call.
See, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Hey,
shots fired.
Listen, the ostrich awning would go really good on those new 4-wheel campers he's going to start carrying.
Yeah. I mean, so look, we've got options for everyone, and yeah. So actually, Ryan Hitchcock said throwing down shade. So that brings me full circle back to this T-shirt from last year, right? So
Okay.
Lee, if you can show us that T-shirt,
I don't have it. It's in the closet, but it is looking pretty shitty, to be honest. I think I've wore it and washed it so many damn times. It's kind of like my my MOORE Expo shirt, my Rigs and Coffee shirt, and yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. So on the T-shirt last year, Ryan. So if you haven't seen it, the T-shirt said at the back of the T-shirt said "Made in the Shade" since 2008.
Yep.
But I wanted to go with throwing shade since 2008, but we went with made in the shade.
You need to do that, then have some kind of gang symbol outside anyway.
Made in the shade since 2000.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, hey everybody, thank you for, like Theo said, thank you for listening to us blab along for about an hour. Really appreciate it. Lee, thank you for pushing all the buttons. You make everything happen for us. So really appreciate it. Everybody out there, hope to see you at the MOORE Expo. We're going to have Chris with the MOORE Expo on next week. So make sure you tune back in Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time every week. Although I don't know that we're going to go live the week of the MOORE Expo. We haven't really decided yet. Anyway, we'll see you guys next Tuesday. Thank you so much. Whatever you do, make sure that you go all over.